Like I said, we are very excited to have her here. You probably all know all about her, but we'd like to get to know her a bit more, if that's okay. We'd like you to share your story with our High Five Mamas.
Okay.
Starting with your name.
With my name. So, Clemmie Telford. I was previously on Instagram as Peckham Mama and changed it about a year ago when I couldn't bear to say it anymore. And so went back to my name.
What? Peckham Mama? What's wrong with Peckham Mama?
It's fine. I felt I cringed every time I said it. And then I spent a long time, because I work in advertising or marketing, I was doing trying to work out what my brand stood for and did loads of brainstorming. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go with my name. And it works because it can be used in any context.
Yeah, that's it. Clemmie Telford.
So who are you? Because I was just getting confused at introducing myself in different guises, in different titles, but now I just go by my name.
Well, we've got the real Clemmie Telford. And so, where did you grow up? Well, you obviously live in Peckham, I'm guessing. Do you still live there?
I do still live in Peckham. I've got nothing against Peckham. I love Peckham. I live in Peckham. I grew up in Buckinghamshire.
Yeah.
And then went to school in Aylesbury, and then went to university in Bristol, and then have lived.
West is best.
Yeah.
I was down the road in Bath.
Well, yeah. I mean, I went to the really mediocre university. I went to UE.
I went out in Bristol a lot.
Yeah, Bristol is amazing. And then I moved to London, I think 10 years ago, and that's where I am now.
In Peckham.
In Peckham.
And you share your home with a few boys.
So much testosterone. I share it with my husband and my two boys, Bertie, who is very nearly 5, we're counting down the days, and Woody, who's 3, and Derek, our sausage dog, who is, I want to say how old he is, and I don't know.
Oh, in dog years? I mean, that's a lot of maths.
I think he's about 7 in human years.
Okay.
I know he's here before the children.
So he was your first baby?
He was.
Okay, and how has he actually adapted to...
Very badly.
These things you keep popping out. Is he in a major sulk?
He's in a constant sulk, and actually he has a really, really nice life. Our boys are lovely to him. They feed him a lot of snacks, but he just can't shake the resentment.
Fair enough. And I understand that this one might not be a boy.
No Willie here. This is a girl. Thank goodness.
Hurrah! Well done.
She's going to come and change it all up a bit, I think, because we are
so exciting.
Yeah, a very, very male household. Lots of Willie chat, lots of fart chat, and she's going to hopefully
fit right in.
Yeah, level it out a bit.
Oh, that's really good to hear. So you are due
I am
soon?
34 weeks, so 6 weeks to go.
Okay.
So near, but not quite near enough yet, unfortunately. Soon.
How are you feeling?
I feel all right. I finished work this week, so I'll feel much better when that happens.
Oh, that's nice. So you'll actually have quite a with Christmas and everything.
Have quite a good break.
To prepare yourselves for being outnumbered.
Yes.
Although I guess with the dog, you kind of already...
Yeah, that's long gone, but we are going to be outnumbered children to adults.
Yes.
Which is a reality
check.
Yes,
you've realised that. And how are you going to
manage that?
Any ideas?
Do you know what? I think most of the time it will be all right, but I was just saying to my friend, it's when one child gets ill and then it goes ricochets around the whole lot, and I can see with, that's bad enough with 2, but with 3 that could be a never-ending cycle.
Have you had the chicken pox?
We had the chicken pox.
Okay.
We've had the chicken pox.
So you're probably safe from that for a while.
Yeah, I'm glad that was gone. That is, do you know what? They weren't too ill with it, but it's 10 days, isn't it?
Exactly.
And it incubates for whatever, so it's the best part of a month. And it was a time when we had some really good plans at the weekend. It was like, oh, we're not doing anything then.
Funnily enough, chickenpox is usually one of the biggest talked about topics on
Really?
High Five Mama. Remembering back, what was your kind of number one tip for getting through what is effectively, when you've got 2, nearly a month of hell?
So mine weren't too ill with it. It's just really tedious. There's an amazing, I wish I knew off. We'll find it so that we can say there's this amazing but expensive product, which is like a foam, Moxie, I'll find it, and it's like 15 quid, and I was like, oh, this is really pricey, but it does something where it just dries them up really quickly and stop them being in too much pain, actually.
And do you have, have you had the chicken pox?
I have, yeah. I was actually pregnant, so I was lucky that I had it, otherwise it might have been a bit more worrying.
Oh, right, okay, so it was quite recently. I was going to ask, everyone's got that infamous chickenpox scar.
Yeah, where's
yours?
My eldest is on his face, it makes me so sad. Mine's on my tummy, I think.
On your tummy, not rear. Mine's on my rear.
On your bum.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a kind of Victorian disease. It just comes from nowhere. That's the thing. Because actually, mine weren't that ill. They just looked horrendous.
Yeah, I know, and it does ruin all the fun.
Yeah, it does.
Let's face it.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully it was in the summer, so we could kind of, we would go to some open
Isn't
spaces.
that worse when you go in the summer and you got them dressed up in hats and balaclavas and everyone's like, that's very suspicious.
Yeah, judging
you're just hiding the fact you've taken your child out in public.
Yeah,
with
it's true. We went to the park into like the weirdest, furthest corner because it's a long time, 10 days.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with the little girl on the way, have you got a specific birthing plan in place that you're? I mean, who has ever stuck to the birthing plan?
So
what is your aspirations?
I had Woody, my second, at home.
Oh wow!
Weirdly enough, I've just been writing my birth story while at work for something else, and I had the most amazing birth. So my first birth was not amazing at all. I felt very out of control. I was induced. Didn't get treated very nicely. I don't, it's not uncommon, and it's a bit sad. But I then did hypnobirthing, and my second birth was amazing. Like, couldn't fault it really. It was hard work. Don't get me wrong, and I have to get myself back in that space. But it was really wonderful and empowering. And
so have you been doing hypnobirthing?
We're just back. We're back in it. Do you know what? Part of the reason we're going through the practice again is to get my husband's eyes on the prize, because I'm very aware that I'm going to give birth again in 6 weeks.
Sure.
But I think he needed a reminder.
Still
and
reconciling.
Yeah. I think it's still the reality's got to hit. And quite famously, during that second birth, he hadn't checked that the tap and the hose for the birth pool could connect, and they couldn't connect.
Okay.
So it was quite tense. He'd figured it out.
Darling, I've got something I need to tell you.
This is your one job. This is your one job. I'm going to get a human out of my fanny. You need to attach the hose to the thing. So that was a low moment, which I don't even know if he's looked into it again. Anyway, that's his job. But it's good. The good thing about doing kind of hypnobirthing practice, especially with your subsequent kids, is taking time to try and connect with her and connect with what is about to happen, because life just gets faster and faster.
Yeah,
I think,
and especially when you've got 2 other kids and a dog and a husband and yourself to think
and
about.
A job
I've got to give birth soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really. I mean, I didn't know anything about hypnobirthing until quite recently, actually, and I've heard so many people rave about it. But in case there's some mamas out there that are watching that don't actually understand just the techniques, is it like a mindfulness?
So I always.
Or do you actually get hypnotised?
No, you don't get hypnotised. I really wish it had a different name, because I think it makes it sound way more hippie than it is actually. The fundamentals of it is just understanding what your body's going through. Okay. So if you can stay calm, then your adrenaline doesn't pump, and if your adrenaline pumps, then your muscles hurt more and it gets more painful. So the more of a relaxed state you can stay in, the better. The more you understand how your body works, so different stages of labour, then the better empowered you are. And then it's just relaxation techniques really. So by listening repeatedly, so you listen to certain tracks as you go to sleep, and that makes that triggers your brain to think that those sounds equal being super relaxed. So then when you put it on in labour, it keeps you in the same place really. It's just trusting your body.
That's cool. And just like you said, being armed with the kind of information and understanding what's happening in a very uncontrollable usually kind of situation, you feel a bit in control of it.
Yeah, you do. And once you can believe that and this isn't that I think everyone should have a natural home birth, but it's just feeling empowered to make decisions and trust your body. We are designed to give birth.
So who's in the room with you? Do you have your husband will be there? Maybe?
My husband will be there, and
unless
then
he stresses you out too much.
Funnily enough, I had a midwife appointment this week, and she's like, "So you're planning a water birth or to be in the pool?" I was like, "Yeah." I just would ask that your husband can go in the pool, but they must keep their clothes on. And I was like, number one, he's not coming in the pool. I know, and I'm not embarrassed to say that I poo all the way through labour. Like, he can stay that side of the pool, but he doesn't need to come in with me. And
does that happen? I guess.
I guess it does. And I guess because I've been totally naked for both my labours, you just like get these clothes off me.
You can't stand them.
No, and they must get a bit confused and drop their poor midwives. They must do some things, mustn't they? But in terms of the way it works with home birth is that I'm really lucky. In South East London we have case loading midwives, so that means I've seen the same midwife throughout all of my appointments.
That is, so you've really built a bond.
I'm so lucky, and so
brilliant.
She'll be there, and then she's there from the point when you call her, and provided you're in established labour, she stays with you.
Okay.
And then they call a second one when it's game on.
Okay.
So I remember even in that kind of deep labour moment, I was like, she's picking up the phone, this baby's coming soon. And then when they arrive, you know that it's hopefully pretty close
brilliant.
to
So when is this roughly going to happen, if it all goes according to plan?
End of Jan.
Okay.
End of Jan.
Well, best of luck with
the
birth. I'm assuming you're going to get rid of the boys.
Yeah, do you know what? Loads of people have the kids there, and I can. Yeah. But no, I don't. I just.
I saw my sister being born.
Did you?
I remember it.
Accidentally or?
No. My dad couldn't see because he's going to get these contact lenses in. My granddad, who was there as well, is practically blind, and so my mum was like, "Someone's got to see, see what's going on." It was me. I was 9 years old.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember it very, very well.
Happily or?
Happily. My mum grabbed my hand and said, having you was like shitting a watermelon, but having this one was like shitting a pea. It's like, oh, thanks, Mum. But yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's something really lovely, but I just don't think... I don't want to be distracted by them, and also...
Not if you've gone through all your...
Yeah, and... You know, it can all go really smoothly and something can go amiss. You don't know. And if it does end up being a transfer to hospital, that's a very scary environment.
True.
And then also, I will then, like I did last time, keep them away for a night and a day, because you only get a brand new baby once, and I feel like that needs to be her time with us.
It's exciting. Yeah. It's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm excited.
Now, obviously, lots of baby chat.
Mm-hmm.
But your other baby is your blog.
Yeah.
Do you call it a blog?
Yeah, I struggle because I've got the blog and then I've got the Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram.
That sounds really middle-aged, but yeah.
Well, they're both your babies,
both my babies.
And you look after them very, very well.
Thank you.
Could you rewind a little bit
and
maybe tell us about the wonderful blog, which again probably needs no introduction to many of you, the mother of all lists.
There it is. It's so weird that it's so...
a thing.
Yeah, and I've just been going for so long now, and I'm really lucky in that I was just looking through my submissions for next year. I've probably got almost enough lists for 2 lists a week for the rest of the year. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Brilliant.
But it started on my second maternity leave with Woody, so that was coming up to 3 years ago. Yeah, coming up to March 2015, and. How did it begin? Well, I'd had my first maternity leave with Bertie, and to be honest, I thought I was having an all right time, but I look back and I probably wasn't. I couldn't really find a version of motherhood that felt like me. You know, I was going to baby groups, I was meeting people, and they were all perfectly nice, but it just didn't feel like me. I was having conversations.
A bit of an identity
crisis, exactly. Exactly that.
I think a lot of people can probably sympathise with that.
Yeah, actually. And I just, I was like, oh right, is this what it is? We don't talk about fashion anymore. We don't talk about culture anymore. Nobody, all of these things. And that was really hard, but I just kind of went with it. And then because there's quite a small gap between the boys, there's only 22 months, I was back on maternity leave within a year of when I'd got back to work
again.
Yeah, so I mean, although I look back and go, how did I do that age gap? The good thing was, it didn't
How
really...
did you do that age gap?
In a blur, but it didn't feel like a shock. I kind of went straight back into that lifestyle quite quickly.
Actually, that's probably having them that close. You kind of remembered how you felt.
Well, I always say that my Bertie's 2013 and Woody's 2014. That's when I'm writing their dates down. It always feels close.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway, that's behind that. This one's a much bigger gap.
So Woody inspired the list.
Yeah, he did. So I was more confident, I guess, and I was less wanting to go and establish myself as a mum, and more wanting to keep my brain alive a bit.
Yeah.
And I went to mothers' meetings and met a few other mums. It's a bit of a zeitgeist moment, I think. Like Zoe dressed like a mum, Steph don't buy her flowers, Mother Pucker, Clemmie, the other one, the bigger one. All of
your alter ego.
Yeah, my alter ego, my buddy. We were all just always kind of coming up at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you guys together have pretty much created a mama movement. I mean,
yeah, I do, but we just didn't feel.
Before that, were you a blog reader? Were there mama blogs or anyone out there?
I'd read Clemmie Hooper's Gas and Air through both my pregnancies actually, but that was very much birth stories and less so about motherhood. I think. Yeah. Sorry, Clemmie, if I'm wrong about that. I don't know if I was a blog reader. It was Instagram really that pulled me in because it was very quick. And I have to be honest, I'm from a marketing background, so I was kind of interested in it from that point of view as well. Enough. I could see what was. I'm a creative. I'm a copywriter, so I was just seeing something that's happening.
Genuinely intrigued. And I guess at the cusp, the forefront was really taking off.
Yeah, and just because this is something, I don't know what it is, and because I'm. Not much of an art director really, I was very off the cuff, so I was always focusing on my writing and then just putting images up, and felt like the more honest I was, the bigger the traction was each time. So I was like, every time I thought, God, this is a bit weird, but I'll put it out there.
But it's working.
The braver I was, the more honest I was, the more I kind of found my own tone of voice. And I never knew what it was. I wasn't trying to start anything. Yeah. I felt quite lucky for that, in that we didn't know it was a thing.
You were just dabbling, and it felt good, and you realised it was having a positive effect with other.
And I met some other mums that I liked, and we were talking to each other online. People who are now like my really great friends, and that was that really.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant story. I mean, like literally, the rest was history, or
should
we say her story?
Yeah. And then now I've spent the last year working at Facebook and Instagram, so it's kind of done the full circle.
So the mother of all this, are you still writing for it yourself?
I haven't done recently, and the truth of that is that my job here at work is full on, and you've just got to learn where to give yourself a break. And you know what? I've got so many amazing stories from other women. They don't just, I have to edit them, I have to curate them, I have to decide. Takes time. That's still like, and I just thought I'm going to give myself, and I'm really pregnant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I will. It's not that I've stopped writing for it, but I've got enough content.
Have you been making a list of new lists to write about?
I know that this baby, every child you have, turns your life 360, and I've got some things to write about, so I will start sharing those. But you've got to be kind to yourself, especially with this kind of social media thing. If it's stressing you out, don't do it, because it doesn't want to be another burden on your life. So that be kind to yourself.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Take a break when you need to. Switch off.
You can always feel, especially with social media, if you're chasing numbers or chasing whatever, you're never going to, I remember thinking, God, when I get to 5,000 followers, when I get to this, and then I'll feel like this.
Yeah, it's not like that in
reality. It's like the millennium. You kind of just, you just go.
I remember that moment. Everything's going to... everything's just going to stop or kick off, and then it's like, oh, okay, we carry on doing what we do, basically.
Exactly. And so you can feel like you're rushing to get somewhere, and
just do your thing.
Just do your thing. Do what works for you, and because again, if I feel like I was trying to write, then it won't be very. It'll come across in the way I write. So I'm hoping, next year it's going to come back to me. So
what does give you energy right now in this kind of phase of your life, or what are you, apart from the baby, kind of what are you looking forward to in the next chapter of your story? My next chapter is, for the first time ever, when I leave on Friday, I will be unemployed for the first time in my adult life. Funemployed. Like call it. Funemployed. But my husband keeps going, stop calling it that, because I could just say I'm going to be a blogger on Saturday and from then on, and that's fine. But it's actually a year at Facebook has taught me that it's very, very healthy to be a bit scared. Yeah. And if I want to go back to a full-time job, I will. But I'm looking forward to. I've always done the blog and social media as well as a full-time, 5-day-a-week job. Yeah. As well as the motherhood. Yeah. That side bit that we do that's all-consuming. Yeah. It's amazing how we just sometimes don't even count that bit, and yet, that is and being a wife and being a friend and being a sister. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to having a daughter, and then putting my headspace into it a bit more, where that comes. good. You should do that.
Yeah.
You should take advantage of the break and being fun employed.
You're being fun employed, exactly.
For sure. So does the bump have a nickname?
My dad's been calling it Genevieve, which is actually really pretty.
That is lovely.
And it's really unlike him. My dad is not a kind of nicknamey kind of guy, but
does he have what's Granddad's nickname?
He's Papa.
Papa.
Yeah, to my boys, which is very sweet. But no.
Do you have names picked out?
Well, yeah, I think so. Every time I'm terrible for continuing to go over and over it, but Ben was very good with Woody, which now doesn't seem that controversial, but at the time felt quite brave.
I like it.
He was like, no, we're fine, we're doing it, and he's actually locked down on a name now. So I think we might well be there.
Because what I found that during that moment of labour, the men can sometimes take advantage of it and say, it's going to be called this, and they're like, okay, fine, whatever, and then you've just committed yourself to something that you've got to live with.
But then I've got friends who didn't name straight away, and the problem is, as those days go by and the sleep deprivation kicks in, then
it's harder to
because it's like this massive and you don't actually have time to have a conversation about it. So who knows?
And then it's just the next thing.
The pressure's mounting. But yeah, I think we probably have. We're pretty close.
Brilliant. That's exciting.
It is exciting.
I'm not going to ask you to reveal it.
No, I'm not going to reveal it. No, that would be a big.
That'd be a bit cheeky. But do obviously come back and let us know when she's here and when she's named. Yeah. Yay. Okay, thank you for joining us today. It was so nice to meet you.
And you.
Can you give us a high five?
Yeah.
Yeah. High five.